Hi everyone, and today I'm going to be giving you a What's on my Android video. Now, I've done What's on my iPod videos in the past, but since I'm using my Android phone for most everything now, I thought I'd give you guys a What's on my Android video. So, my Android phone is the Samsung Droid Charge running on Verizon, and it is a 4G phone, and it's pretty much what I'm stuck with for about a year and a half left now, because when I bought this, there weren't so many 4G phones out. There were probably only 3. There was like the HTC Thunderbolt and some LG phone that I don't exactly remember. But this seemed like the best choice at the time, and of course now it's a single core processor and it seems way behind, but it still does okay. So let's get right into what apps I have. So right here on my front page, I have a Google search widget, and down here at the bottom I have 4 main apps that aren't in this main bottom thing. Right on my home screen, I have the camera app, the Google Authenticator app, the Gmail app, and the Play Store app. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's the Android market, but it's the new version because Google did like a rebranding or something. So these are apps, well, except for the Play Store. That's not something that I need to get to quickly. So basically these apps are apps not that I use so often, but when I do use them, I want to get to them quickly, so that's why they're right here on the main page. So let's go ahead and go over to the left all the way. Here is my, I don't know, I don't really have these organized, but right here I have 2 podcast apps, and then I have the Nook app because I do own a Nook and I use it for reading sometimes, and sometimes if I don't have my Nook like charged, well, it doesn't really run out of charge, but if I don't have it with me, I'll use the Nook app instead. And over here I have Acast and Revision 3. Now, Acast helps me manage all of my podcasts, and it lets you either stream or download all of them. And for audio podcasts, it lets you play them as fast as you want. So if you don't have like too much time and you want to listen to a podcast at like 2 times, which is very doable with most podcasts unless they talk really fast, it lets you do that, so you can save a little bit of time there. It also works with HD video podcasts, and they look pretty nice on the screen. But if you're not on 4G, I would recommend downloading over Wi-Fi, because if you're downloading HD podcasts, it could take a while. So now here's my Revision 3 app. Not really too much there, but just some Revision 3 shows. I don't really use that so much since I have Acast now. And Acast is pretty nice. It's free. It does have ads, and sometimes it's a little glitchy when you do the 2 times playback feature, and it takes a little while to catch up. But once you get into the podcast, maybe like 30 seconds or so, it'll start working just fine. Now right here I have a bunch of like random apps, and I just realized that I put Gmail on here twice. There's Gmail here and there's Gmail here. Well, I guess I'll have to fix that later, but so I have Instagram, Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. Those are my social network apps. And down here on the bottom row, I just have a random assortment of apps. I have Skype and Translate. And I also have SpringPad, which if you haven't seen that before, it's kind of like a combination of a to-do list and a note-taking app. I usually use Evernote for taking notes, but I like using SpringPad for to-do list because you can make one on your computer, but then send it right to your phone, and it'll pop up with the notification so you remember to do that stuff. And right down here I just have a little battery widget that tells you the percent, because up here in the notifications area you don't really like see what percentage your battery has left, but that information is in the Android OS. Just on some phones they choose not to use it, so you can access it via this widget. Now here's the screen we've already seen, and if we go over to the right, you'll see I have a widget which I don't really use. It's for like turning on and off Wi-Fi, turning off your ringer and stuff like that. But I can do that. I usually do that up here, and I don't really do it that often. Since I was lucky enough to get unlimited data before that went away, I have found that 4G LTE is faster than my home Wi-Fi, so I pretty much just leave it on LTE all the time. Right here I have my mobile data usage, which I don't really need to track, but I kind of like to keep track of it just in case like they decide that they want to cut down my usage because I'm tethering or something. This app shows everything I use it on, And as you can see, it's not tethering. It's mostly podcasts. So down here we have a app kind of kill widget, I guess you could call it. I don't really remember the name, but it basically helps like save your battery and save your performance when you're doing something like a game where it might start lagging. So here you can kill apps that are open unnecessarily. So let's go over one more page to the right, and we can see I have my games, which I don't really play too much, but I play sometimes. I've got SF Cave, which on my Palm Trio that I had a while ago, I played that game and I kind of liked it. So one day I decided to search for it, and they had one that was kind of like it. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. I also have Lane Splitter, Line Runner, and Temple Run, which these are games I found I played more than some of the other ones I have installed. And I have more installed in my app drawer right here, but those are just the ones I choose to put on my home screen for some reason. So down here at the bottom, I have my apps that kind of came with this launcher, and you're probably wondering why this isn't like the default launcher. And it's actually, I don't even remember what it's called. It's called something. I will look. It's called like the Go. I remember now. It's called the Go launcher. And you can download the Go launcher in the Android market, which of course now they call the Play Store. And it's very simple to do. You just press your home button after you install it, and it'll come up with a menu that asks you to choose a launcher. And you just choose that one and check the defaults box. That will make it default, and it'll happen. And I just found that with the original launcher that came with this phone, it was really kind of slow, and this launcher is much faster, so I definitely recommend it. And so I'll just go ahead and go through these icons at the bottom here real fast. It's the phone and contacts and the main apps menu, as well as messaging and web, which I use those. Well, mostly web, but sometimes I use messaging. I hardly use the phone on here unless somebody else calls me. So I don't know why that's down there. It's just down there because it came with the launcher. And you can swipe to the side, and I put some apps in here, but I never remember they're there when I need to use them. So I pretty much don't use these down here that much. And in my app store, I'll just go ahead and skip through some stuff real quick. Some of these apps in here I already had on my home screen, or they just came with the phone and I don't really use them that much. An example is AllShare, which I don't have any DLNA stuff in my house that I can use it with, so it's not really that much of a use to me. So I just have some like Angry Birds, I have the Amazon App Store, and I have Google Drive, which just came out, as well as Crash Plan and Instagram. And I have just some other random apps like the calculator, contacts, and Dragonfly Free is kind of like Tiny Wings for iOS, but they haven't come out with a version for Android, so I used that when I was feeling like playing Tiny Wings. And I just have Dropbox and Evernote. And Foxfi, back when I needed to use this with my laptop, it does allow you to create a Wi-Fi hotspot without paying the extra for Verizon, but I don't really use that anymore because, well, I don't like use a laptop that much. I just use my phone for most stuff, and that's fine. And just Gmail, not really that much, just games and stuff that came with the phone. And I also have Lookout on here, which is kind of like antivirus for your phone, which I'm not really sure how many viruses are going around, especially like in the Android market, because that's pretty much all where I get my apps from. So I'm not sure, but I have it installed just in case. And it also lets you track where your phone is in case it gets stolen or lost or something. I have Maps, which I don't use terribly much because I don't have a car. I also have Netflix and Pandora, which I don't use terribly much, but I do use sometimes. And just some games and stuff that I already had on my home screen. I have this Twit Play app that I got because one time I was having trouble streaming some Twit shows live, and so I got that app and I haven't really used it since. And these untitled things right here were some apps I was working on developing, and they just never really got finished, so they're just kind of blank, and I don't really need them in there. And here's one of the last pages. I have YouTube in there, some stuff that came pre-installed. And the last page, just some Facebook apps that showed up one day when I updated my Facebook app. I haven't really used those that much, considering I don't use Facebook that much. And that's just about it. Some people are curious what version of Android or iOS I'm running in these videos, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings if you're still watching, and I'll find it somewhere. It's about this phone probably. And it's probably under, let's see, maybe system updates? Nope. Oh, there it is, firmware version 2.3.6. I know that's Gingerbread, but I don't really know if it's like the 6th revision of it or something, and that's why it's 0.6. I'm not sure, and I'm pretty sure this phone is not going to be getting any updates to Ice Cream Sandwich anytime soon. And if it does, it'll probably be when the next operating system comes out, whether that's Jelly Bean or something else. I'm not sure if it's been announced yet. So that's just about it, and if you're still watching, thanks for watching, and if you liked videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel to get more as often as I can make them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.